My role models as a young person were cartoons. And through cartoons, I heard classical music. I didn't really, as a child, I didn't really know what I was listening to, but I felt something wonderful and unique inside, and it stimulated my imagination and my creativity. But then as I started to draw more from age 4 on, I wanted to become an artist, and my role model was Michelangelo, Da Vinci, and Van Gogh, and I could list Beethoven, Bach, because I saw all of that in a way that allowed me to get in touch with, again, that special part of me on the inside. And I knew I could do something more than my environment was allowing me to see, my immediate environment. And so at age 15, I decided to become a cartoonist, and I became a cartoonist and sold cartoons. One Great Thing is the title of the book. And the way it came about was after more than 38 years of working with professionals and non-professionals and traveling, and seeing that everybody had one thing in common, which was attitude. Those who were successful, those who were not successful. And I observed the attitudes and had a sense of what was causing some individual to be successful in the sense of their profession, and then maybe not successful in the way of relationship. And then those who didn't have a lot of material means, who were successful in relationships, but not in material and financial ways. And I started to wonder about that, you know, what's really the key? And as I thought about it and thought about all the books that I read, and it just came to this, I came to this one conclusion, and that conclusion was attitude.
Having a positive mental attitude on a daily basis in my practice is key, because the positive mental attitude allows you to have much more energy in your daily life. It keeps you moving forward. It keeps you in a direction where you can exert the most amount of energy and influence and healing that you need to when you're working with a patient.
When I worked for Georgia State University as a procurement specialist at the time, and there was a buyer position open, and I really believed that I'd earned that position because I attended school there as I was a student there as well. And I had worked in the procurement department and really believed that I deserved a position that had come open. Well, the buyer position came open, and I wasn't given that position. I was actually promoted to another position as a contract specialist. Well, my attitude was that, you know, that was wrong, and the person that had been mentoring me all that long time, I really said some really awful things about, and I really felt bad about that, because that person actually really gave me an opportunity for the growth that I saw later in my years. It's so often your attitude can be that you don't think that this thing that's happening right now is going to be for your greater good. But if you will just be patient and accept where you are for the moment, and later on you'll see that that thing that you thought was so bad was really for your growth.
I recall a case where I did not have a very good attitude toward the client. This was early in my career. I was young. And as a result of that poor attitude, perhaps I didn't work as hard for the client as I should have. But throughout the course of the representation, I decided to change my attitude and my beliefs about this client and her case, and things turned very positive, and we ultimately succeeded. And it's one of my more gratifying cases that I've ever had.
Attitude makes a difference. It's a key that unlocks doors to success, and it's a key that locks doors to success and opportunities. As an artist, I love imagination and creativity, and this is how I live my life, through imagination and creativity. And when I was thinking about the book, the OGT book, One Great Thing, I wanted to do something, needed to do something different with the book, because initially I wanted the reader to, when they pick up the book, they see it traditionally laid out in the front cover and the back cover, but when they open up the book, they would be forced to hold the book in a horizontal plane, and that way I felt that that would be the first step to changing their attitude.
Every time I read One Great Thing, and I read it often, something new jumps out. I have something new that stimulates my thought, makes me think about how it might apply to my life. So every page is a new experience. I will say one of the pages that first caught my attention said, you know, think about yourself as being in worse shape than you really are right now. Think about that. This is the way I am, so I try to imagine myself being worse off. And then I go back to being grateful for right now, because it can be so much worse.
I've had a chance to read his book. Talks about relationships, talks about how you can be successful. And I'll be working with some middle school students about the second week in November. In fact, they're going to give me a little group that I can work with every day except Tuesday, and I'm going to incorporate that book in my instruction of those children. So I'll put John on the map again.
One Great Thing is a very impressionable book. It's very influential in the sense that it teaches me how to listen. In this book, when Dr. Sandridge goes through highlighting certain words, certain prefixes and suffixes, and even some of the root part of the words, when you repeat them out loud, it makes a difference, and it is etched into your mind from your unconscious to your conscious. So bringing you more aware of what you need to do, how you need to get started, bringing it into your thought processes. And from the point of having the thoughts, then you begin to, of course, think about those things, and then you begin to believe those things, and then you begin to take the right attitude along with those things that you believe in, and then take action.
What you talk about most is how you will always live. I would choose that message and suggest that anyone who would embrace that message and practice that message would experience wonderful success.
What is amazing about the book, One Great Thing, is that if a person is looking for encouragement, healing, support, confidence, a better attitude, or they're looking for that one thing that has been missing in their life, the one great thing could be the missing link for that individual. And the One Great Thing does this for all ages. It doesn't matter if you're in grammar school or if you're in graduate school. It doesn't matter if you're an attorney, a physician, or a blue-collar factory worker. It does not matter if you are in a difficult situation or you think your life is perfect. The one great thing, in my opinion, will improve a person's life no matter where they are in life.
Attitude is so important, and as John so clearly states in his book, you better pay attention to your attitude and the things you think and the things you say and the things you wish for. Attitude is very important, and John skillfully points that out.
I tried or applied to be a principal for 10 years, and I had an attitude, what's wrong with me? What am I not doing that I can't get? And I just had this attitude. I'd say, well, are they mad at me? I even, went so far to think about filing a lawsuit, and then something I just thought, and I stopped. And I said, if I change the way I think, and I change how I go about approaching this, then things can get better. In fact, I said, if it's meant for me to be, I'll be. If not, and when I changed that attitude, next year, I got the opportunity to apply to be a principal.
A negative attitude versus a positive attitude many times can mean success or failure. And it's not always an individual's skills or their education that will cause them to succeed or to fail. It's their attitude. And they could be in the perfect situation for success, any form of success in a relationship, personal, business, an opportunity, and it's a perfect situation, a blessing that's come to them. But if their attitude is negative, then their attitude will be the reason that whatever it is they're seeking, they won't get, or it won't happen, or it will not continue. So attitude is everything in the way of success and failure.
Well, I define success as, in a way, probably maybe different from others. I really do believe that people should define success for themselves, but one of the things I think I've always wanted in my life was to be at a level where I can contribute in a way that made a difference. And it really didn't matter whether I was in business or working with a nonprofit organization or dealing with kids on a soccer team. It just didn't matter. I just wanted to be able to contribute. So success for me is measured in terms of how am I contributing.
Success to me is being happy, being able to give back, being a part of the community and in America that we live in. That's what gives me my satisfaction of being able to be a part of the city I live in, the community I live in, and the United States, and overall the world.
This book, the OGT book, One Great Thing, has assisted me to change my attitude and experience more success and greater success than any other one thing that I have done or I've read.
There is one portion of the book that stands out to me, and it is, what do you talk about most? And it says, is how you will always live. And that really resonated with me, because I believe that how one thinks really determines how they will live their life.
And I believe that that book, if it's not a book that you read, it's a book that you just take little bites from every day. And that's one of the things that we do in our office, is we take bites from that book every day. And it helps you to change your mindset. It helps you to think from a different part in your life, and from your subconscious to your conscious. And I think if parents would sit down and help their children to have a better positive attitude, and give them some materials to help with that. Because you see so many things in life that distort the way you feel. So they need some help with changing their attitude.
Every time I read One Great Thing, and I read it often, something new jumps out. I have something new that stimulates my thought, makes me think about how it might apply to my life. So every page is a new experience.
In my profession, healing the physical body comes first, but there's also a mental and spiritual aspect of healing. And this all starts with a positive mental attitude. For some people in difficult situations, they find it hard to have a positive mental attitude, or maybe they've never been taught to have a positive mental attitude. But this is exactly what the One Great Thing does. It gives a person the tools needed to have a positive attitude so they can start whatever process is missing in their life, whether it is a process of healing, a process of changing, a process of growing. This can improve their life beyond their wildest dreams.
The core message of the book, OGT book, is change your attitude. Your life will change, and you can help change the world one person at a time.